After many requests, a lot of time, and a lot more requests, I finally watched and finished Daredevil, so yeah, we get to talk about it. Daredevil. And that's the Netflix series Daredevil, not the Affleck Daredevil. So Daredevil is a Netflix original series. If you haven't been paying attention, I'll let you know, Netflix is kind of killing it. There's a lot of quality programming on Netflix, so now they're gonna bring the Marvel Cinematic Universe into Netflix as Marvel Cinematic Series is. So Daredevil is about a lawyer who's blind, who is a superhero that goes out at night and fights crime. Oversimplification maybe, but yeah, it's pretty much it. But he has like extra senses, you know, he can walk in a room and he knows where everything is and what's in the room. Which is a really cool premise, honestly. I mean, you know Stan Lee did that shit on purpose. Justice is blind and Daredevil's blind. You know Stan Lee, when making this shit, was just like, I mean, he's a blind superhero, so of course we're gonna make him a lawyer because, you know, Justice is blind. It just makes a lot of sense. And he would be right, it does make sense. And the good part is, the show makes you completely buy it. I was watching this and I felt like if I really concentrated and meditated a lot and honed my skills, I'd be able to walk in a room with a blindfold on and know where everything is. Be like, there's a bar of soap over there on the sink. I wouldn't be able to, but I love it when a show does that and brings me into being a kid again. Like when you watch The Matrix for the first time and you really felt like you can jump off a roof and land on the pavement on your feet and be fine. Don't try that. And end badly for you. So when something like this makes you buy the fact that this blind lawyer's out there kicking ass, I love that. And they're not high-class lawyers either. Nah, Matt Murdock, who is Daredevil, and his partner Foggy, they're a budget law firm. They're not the creme de la creme. No, they're just trying to get their name out. Saul Goodman's like, you guys are small time. But after watching the first episode of this show, you know you're in for something special. The show is just so gritty, and not in that, you know, like cliche way where everything has to be dark. I'm not saying it's dark, I'm saying it's real, and I like it because it should be real. His costume really isn't the Daredevil costume. It's this really simplified version of kind of a ninja costume. And I personally love that costume because you feel like you could do that again. Not only do you feel like you could have your extra senses if you really practice at it, but you feel like you could get that costume and go out there and fight crime. Other things try to do that. Like you look at the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and they were like, we wanted to make a costume that looks like someone like Peter Parker could make. And they did succeed in that. But in the end, you look at it, you're like, I'm never going to be able to make something like that. So it doesn't really pertain to me. Daredevil's costume, I could buy that on eBay right now. And it is tied to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. After the whole events of the Avengers, you know, a lot of real estate got wiped out. So now there are people out there who are going to take advantage of this opportunity to rise to power. Enter Wilson Fisk, played by Vincent D'Onofrio. Wilson Fisk is what you know as the Kingpin. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know that much about the Kingpin other than what I saw in the mid-90s Spider-Man cartoon. And in that, I was like, oh yeah, Kingpin's collected, he's calm, he's the Kingpin. He's exactly what you would think the Kingpin would be of a guy called the Kingpin. But this take on the Kingpin is really fascinating. The dude is calm and collected, knows what to say to people when he's shaking the hands. But when he's trying to relate to a person one-on-one, like at an emotional level, he's kind of a socially awkward dude. The Edgar voice from Men in Black starts coming out when Kingpin starts feeling awkward in a conversation. He's all like, thank you, Wesley. I truly appreciate you tending to the matter. And then sometimes he rages out like a man-child and beats someone to death. And you're like, are you not in control of your emotions? But it adds layers to him. I mean, you don't want this Kingpin to be this calm, collected guy all the time. Like, I'm the Kingpin. It's like, oh yeah, you mean you're a villain we've seen 100 times before. Not just, I'll switch that to thousands. It's thousands of times before. But there's one episode that primarily deals with Wilson Fisk. You're like, yeah, dude, you got problems. So what they ended up doing, they gave him layers and they made him human. And you look at Wilson Fisk, you're like, you're one of the more human villains I've seen in a long time in anything. And I love it when a show does that. In the end, guys, Daredevil is one of the smartest pieces of superhero cinema I've seen in a very, very long time. It had the elements of Batman Begins that you love, along with the elements of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that you also love. It has a great relatable hero, a great relatable crew that works together with him, an awesome villain. The good part is it's not a movie, so it's not this huge thing. The stakes they're going up against are very personal for them. This is like Matt Murdock's world at his personal level. And he doesn't want this Wilson Fisk asshole to burn it to the ground. This really opened my eyes to bringing superheroes to other outlets other than like movie theaters. A lot of people should look at this and be like, oh, you mean we could do, okay, I guess we'll do that. We won't hang our hat on just movies, and if something might not work for a movie, we just won't see it. That's a dumbass mindset. Daredevil shows us that. I don't generally speaking rate shows because it's just too hard to do at this point. Daredevil has my seal of approval. I marathoned that shit. I had a great time with it, and I really believe you will too. All right, guys, so Daredevil on Netflix. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below. Let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.